That's an attractive face to start things off with. Oh. I'm getting some shade thrown at me via text message. Hey, Alan. Do you still live in Georgia, or have you moved? Hi, Lou. Hi, Sean. Hi, Aaron. Oh my goodness. Are you guys staying or just passing through? You know how sometimes that happens where you accidentally click on someone's live and you didn't mean to be here? Exit immediately. What's up, Oxford? How are you? And yay, Shauna. I'm glad you're here too. If I could ask your help in having my back, Sean, I don't know how long he's going to be on here, but he is on this Facebook Live right now. So if you could have my back and throw in some shade, I would be grateful. All right. So what's up? I don't have a question for you two. Is this to me or to everybody else? Hi, Aaron. Yay. I'm so happy everybody's here. Wonder from who? This is such a fun thing. An interaction with you is accidental and scary. Yeah. Oh, wow. Aaron, that's amazing. I just turned off Sean's last foundations module to watch you. Good girl. So what's up? Let me share with you first what's been going on with me, and then you guys talk to me. Let me know what's happening, and a front row heckler. I did turn off my cell phone, so I wasn't getting notifications there. Yeah, let's do it. Let's see what I have the body for, Sean. You can bring it full permission here inside of this conversation. So I have been, this is the third week that I've done these Facebook Lives. I've been wanting to commit to this for a couple of reasons. One being consistency, one being to just practice speaking and teaching and hearing my voice, and one being really to not prepare so much. You know, I spent the majority of my life in rehearsal and in a place of perfection. And now I'm more interested in being present and just showing up with what's real and speaking from my heart and trusting that that's enough and that I can be and do and deliver straight from there without having to overanalyze and take a bunch of notes and prep on things. So this has been a lot of fun for me, and I really appreciate you being here. Martinet, you're offended. I thought I said hi to you. Hello, Martinet. Thank you for speaking your truth. Hey girl, hey. And not the only one with throat punches. This is amazing. I could just hang out and let you guys have my back toward Sean. That would be amazing. So what's up? Do you guys have any questions for me? I've been out I was out in California for a couple of days. I've been in the space of really talking about the truth and no longer sugarcoating things or wrestling with the symptoms, and really dealing with what is real, and with the actual pain, instead of trying to just play games and screw around with the stuff that's on the surface. So that's the kind of conversation that I've been in lately. I'm throwing this program together here at the beginning of April, and I'm happy to share with you about that. But I want to also answer any questions that you have. What was I working on in California, Michelle? Some strategic planning for business, and I'm excited about supporting Sean and his company on the great things that he's got going on. So yeah, I was out there doing some work, enjoying the beautiful California rain. It literally rained, thundered, lightninged, is that a word? Lightninged almost the entire 2 days that I was there. Give us one word to describe your transformation journey and speak to it, please. I love that. One word. The first word that came to mind was intense. The word that followed after that was dope, but I'll speak to intense. So for me, when I started this transformation journey, I think it had probably been going on for a long time. I think that everything is progressive and builds. But the first time I was consciously aware that I was going to be doing some serious shifting was at the end of 2013. And when I made a choice to put my hand up and recognize that I had been fighting for most of my life, like I had been fighting to protect and fighting against pretty intensely, pretty aggressively. And I just had a moment where I realized that it wasn't working. And so I didn't have this awareness at the time, but I made a decision that I was going to shift the fight, shift the direction of it. And I became really into this work. I threw myself in head first, and kind of dove into the fire. And if you think about it like a fire that's not small and contained, but really large and expansive, I didn't go from the outside straight into the center. It wasn't like a leapfrog process. It was more of a progression in, right? Like going into a burning building where the fires originated on the top floor, right? And so I would walk in the front door and then continuously step up the stairs, right? And I used to think of intense as bad. I used to think that it was too much. I used to think that things that were intense and people that were intense and me that was intense would hurt people, that people would get attacked from me, from that energy. But it's shifted for me in my journey of being something that I crave, right? Craving the intensity, craving being intense, and wanting to be intense about this work and about the conversations. Yeah, it's been beautiful. It's been passionate. I don't know that there's just one word, honestly, but it's been freeing, and it still is. But I did have to heal my relationship with the intensity, right? And recognize that it doesn't mean that I'm doing anything wrong. And now chase down the intensity of the flames, because once I was able to get, to the top floor in the analogy, then I could stick my head up above and catch a breath and breathe. So yeah, It's been amazing. I do it all over again. I still do it. Yeah. Don't ask her about the conversations. Tense. Yeah, for sure. Fight. So much fight. Yeah. I posted about playing to win versus not to lose. What am I doing these days to play to win in my life? That's a great question, Erin. Thank you for that. I'm not waiting. Yeah, that's really it. I'm not waiting. It's things like this Facebook Live. It's things like putting this program together. It's things like asking for what I want and speaking my truth, even though there's no guarantee of an answer, right? It's taking a shot. It's going for it. It's doing things imperfectly. It's not being prepared or scripted or planned out and just going anyway. For me, it's taking a shot at the goal, right? I spent so much time because of and I think it's just a phase of the journey. So I used to not like play at all, right? I would just, I actually was speaking to Shauna about this on our coaching call earlier, where I said it actually was just a year ago that I was at a master coach retreat and we were doing this embodiment exercise and we were going head to head and we were having to balance like a dowel right on the tip of our finger. And I was paired up, I forget how we were all matched up, but I was paired up with somebody that and I don't even know if there really was anybody that I thought that I could have beat, but I was paired up with somebody that I had just decided I wasn't going to be able to lose, like I was going to lose to, right? I had just pre-decided that I was going to lose. So we were all standing around in a circle and then we had to go into the center and kind of match up against each other. And I remember, so if this is a dowel, like I had it on my finger for maybe 1 second. And then I was just like, whatever. And I turned around and I walked out. Like I didn't even fight. Like I didn't even try at all. And that was just a year and a couple of months ago. And I remember being so angry at myself in that moment because I didn't even fight. Like I wasn't even trying at all. And then I think for me that shifted into, I would make efforts, but only if they were safe, right? I would make an effort if it was a sure thing. I would make an effort if I knew it was going to work, if I knew someone was going to say yes, if it was like an easy yes, then I would be all in. And now, I mean, because first of all, those answers, they're completely unknowable, right? We have no control over what anyone else says or does or thinks. And so inside of that, I was being very calculated with my risk taking. And then it shifted to a place where I'm like, there's no way if I'm on defense exclusively, like I don't know a ton about sports, but I know that you can't win a game on strictly defense. At some point in time, you got to run some offensive plays. And so I started recognizing that and then detaching myself and who I am as a person from how I performed, which enabled me to be so much more free to take shots and take chances, because even if they didn't work, it didn't mean that I didn't work. I was able to take that feedback and then make a new choice. And so now it's about putting my book out. It's about putting spoken word out. It's about recording things imperfectly. It's about doing these Facebook Lives. It's about writing blog posts and sending emails and speaking and talking even if it seems like nobody's listening. Yeah. So what were the conversations I forced everyone into? I am so grateful that here on recorded Facebook Live video, you are getting the opportunity to see and to hear about my coach admitting how powerful I am in terms of my ability to force anybody into anything. That's amazing. Yeah, you can't win at life. That's what I'm saying, man. You can't win at life playing defense either. We're just protecting. I think it's a way of convincing ourselves that we're actually playing when we're not. Like, it's a way for us to pretend that what we're doing is actually playing when really we're just on the sidelines. Like, we're not, if you're not running the ball, right? If you're not taking a shot, if you're not swinging the club or the bat or whatever sport you want to have this fall into, there's no way you can win. And if it's the same thing in your life, there's no way you can win. And if you're not committed to, like, if you're not committed to getting outside your comfort zone, if you're more committed to staying inside and being protected, then that's okay. It's not a choice that I would make, but it's okay if that's the choice that you want to make. But stop talking about how you're playing, because you're not. And most of us then compare ourselves to people who are taking shots, who are taking chances, who are throwing their ass over the bar. And we're saying, why can't I be where she is or where he is or have what they have? But we're not doing what they're doing. We're sitting on the sidelines protecting ourselves from getting hurt or messing up or making a mistake. And I mean, I don't think it is required that I have to fall flat on my face in order to be successful. But I think I've got to be willing to. Like, I think I have to be able, or I have to be willing to just put it all out there and be completely and totally, like, abandoned and rejected. But no, I put it all out there. So, and I know, Erin, you and I have talked about this on individual conversations. Like, I'm at this place now, and I was not like this for a long time. But at this place now, I got to go down swinging. I don't want the fact that I didn't ask to be the reason that I didn't get what I wanted, right? Like, I want to make sure you can say no, but I'm not going to not ask, because then that's me. And I got to say in that, and I got to be, now I'm in the fight for my life, for my freedom. And I want to help you do the same. And I mean, you got to do it though, right? I can't fight for you. But yeah, man, it's so good. It's so good over here. I love the double entendre of playing. Yeah, right? Because it's not just about doing, you're so smart. It is about having the joy and having the fun, and not just being in the space of, hard work, right? I love that. And you're not going to have fun if you're always on defense, because when you're on defense, everything is a threat, right? I posted on, and Oxford, I see your comment. I'm going to address that in a minute. When I posted this the other day on Facebook, and I said that when I was at war with myself, everybody looked like the enemy. So if I'm in a place of having to protect, right, and defend, then everybody looks like bad. Everybody looks like danger. Then I have to constantly be on the lookout, and I'm tense and in hyper protection mode all of the time. And it's really hard to have fun and be in joy in that space. So yeah, that's so good. But you have to get the ball before you can play. I think sometimes you gotta make your own ball. You gotta bring your own ball. I think if we spend our time waiting for somebody to give us something, then I'm putting myself in that role. I'm putting myself, kind of casting myself as a victim. I have to wait for them to say, hey, it's your turn, here, take the ball. Sometimes you got to steal it, right? That happens in sports, right? Sometimes you got to get your hockey stick around and swipe the puck, right? Or steal the ball, or create an interception. And I think that the effort and attempt of getting the ball, I think that is playing. Like, I think that is you or me actually playing in the game. Yeah. Perfect. Would loved your post about feel your feelings. Would love to hear more. Awesome. So, I spent most of my life numbing out. I numbed out through drugs. I numbed out through like sex. I numbed out through shopping. I numbed out through drinking. I numbed out through working really hard, which is something that a lot of people don't like to admit is a way of numbing out. I think anything that we use to avoid is numbing out. And I also don't think that inherently any of those things are bad in and of themselves, right? I think why we're doing what we're doing is significantly more important than the thing that we're doing, right? So I don't have a problem if somebody has a glass of wine. And for me, if I'm having a glass of wine because I don't like how I feel and I don't want to feel how I feel, and so I'm trying to dull that pain with an external substance, then for me, that's not okay. That being said, what I had to realize that part of, and this is actually part of the program that I'm going to be teaching, one of the most important things is we got to get real. You know, pretending something doesn't exist, pretending that something isn't actually happening doesn't make it go away. It only prolongs the pain. So even if you ignore something, it doesn't mean that it's gone, right? Even if you are not paying attention to a mosquito that's buzzing around your head, the mosquito is still there. And in our own personal development and healing, the only way that I have been able to move through my feelings is to actually feel them. And I think most of us are trying to, like, if these are your feelings, most of us are trying to go over them or like skirt around them or maybe tunnel like underneath them because we don't want to touch this, right? We're like, oh no, that's scary and I don't want to touch that thing. But in our doing the under or the over or the around, this is still here. Like this still exists. And so the only way to get this to go away is, in my opinion, to actually penetrate it, to go through and actually sit with it and be with it. And I think a lot of people, and I know I've had conversations with some of you that are on this live right now, that you've been afraid. I was afraid that if I did that, it was never going to stop, that I would never stop, that the pain, or I would start crying and the tears would never stop, or the anger or the rage would never ever stop. It does. It gets built up when we ignore it. It's almost like if somebody has a story to tell you and then they don't tell you, and then all of a sudden it just goes back and forth and it becomes this like way bigger deal than it actually is. And so then you don't even want to tell the story because it sounds lame in comparison to the buildup. It's the same thing with our feelings. It's like the longer we wait and avoid it, then they become in our head, right? This massive thing that we have to get around. And the reality is that's it. The only way out is through. The only way out is through. And in that space, we have to actually be willing to feel it, to be present, which means don't run away from it. I think a lot of us are afraid to experience the sadness. Experience it so that you can feel something different. Please do not quote me on this because I have done zero research, but I have heard from two people who I respect very much that the average emotion has a neurological shelf life of about 90 seconds. And most of us, we keep them trapped for years, and we're sick and we have cancers and we're angry and we're carrying extra weight because we've trapped these things inside of us because we've been so terrified to actually just feel them. The biggest thing that I ever did to heal was be with what was real. So yeah, that's something I'm extremely passionate about. You can say no, but it's not going to stop me from asking. Amen. Yeah, I just have to know that I got to know that I asked. I spent so much time being so mad that people weren't giving me stuff that I wasn't actually asking for. And I pretended that I was mad at other people for their inability to be able to read my mind. And I finally had to realize this is me. Like, this is on me. And oftentimes I think we think that we're asking for something because we hint or we sent like a vague email or a general sort of soft text. And it's like, no, ask. If you want somebody to do something or give you something or participate with you in something, ask directly. And it's easier to do this when your enoughness and your value and your worthiness as a human is not attached to their answer. It becomes a lot harder if their no means something about you. And that's us. That's us healing our relationship with our own self. And the stronger that I've gotten and the more that I've become safe and connected and whole and complete with my own self, the better that I am with me, the less you or any external source has any power, right? The more grounded and connected we are with ourself, we're like I don't know how old everybody is on this live, but weeble wobbles, right? Where the weeble wobbles wobble, but they won't fall down. We might like move, but we're gonna come right back. Or like a big oak tree, right? Our roots are deep. So it doesn't mean that the wind doesn't affect us, but we're solid. And the coolest part about all of that is that that work can be done with us. I am so about getting our power back. Like that's one of the pillars that I teach inside of a true transformation, is that so many of us have unintentionally cast ourselves in the role of a victim. And it's such a dangerous place to be because it's unstable. All right, Amber Jane, help me understand a little bit more about this. I kept feeling or noticing when I don't fully identify with the emotions, it doesn't take me down as much. So please comment, Amber Jane, and make sure that I'm understanding what you're saying. So I don't identify with the emotions. And this is where it gets really tricky for people. We say linguistically, I am angry. I am sad. We do it on the positive side too, right? I am happy. You are not those things. You are experiencing those things. So for you, if I'm understanding what you're saying, Amber Jane, I would stop with the identification, because that absolutely would pull you down, right? If you've associated with yourself as I am angry, then that has a lot more power over you versus I'm experiencing anger right now, or I'm sitting with like anger right now, and make it make it a verb and a choice of something that has some movement to it versus putting it on as an identity of who you are. Let me know that I'm understanding you. Okay. So I would stop making it. You said, how does this help? I would stop making it a part of you. I would shift the language to, sorry, those are a bunch of reminders. I would shift the language to, I like the phrase, I am experiencing. I know some of my clients use I am sitting with, or I am choosing. People don't always love that because we don't necessarily like to admit that it's a choice, but I'm choosing anger right now. There's a disassociation, and you know that that's important with the identities work that you've done in terms of recognizing this is not part of you, this is just something that you are experiencing. And then give yourself permission to experience it without, I actually had a really awesome conversation with Michelle Lane, who's, I don't know if she's still on this live right now, but she's gonna be doing a video later today as well. Michelle, type in the comments, sister, when that is. I wanna make sure that anybody that wants to join is available for that. But inside of speaking with her, it was a lot about give yourself permission for something to take as long as it takes, right? So many of us are like, well, this emotion didn't fit into my schedule, right? I had other things on my agenda. I had other things that I was planning to do today. Well, if you're experiencing sadness, then let it be. Let that be okay. Feelings are like anything, embrace them while they last. Yeah, absolutely. Feeling them makes us human. So good, Ben, truly. And we try to avoid it, right? Which is insane, because then we're avoiding the thing that makes us human, which is why, and I wrote something about this recently, that so many of us, I think we in society, we are like the zombie apocalypse that, you know, that we either jokingly or seriously are afraid of, because we've put ourselves in this place where we're asleep, like we're checked out, we're not actually present. And the thing is that we need to understand about emotions is that they're not one-sided. You can't numb out the bad and keep the good. If you cut the source, you cut the source. So when you're unplugging and disconnecting from anything that's bad, you are also disconnecting from anything that is good. And for me, that's sad. You literally wrote about this morning. Say, I feel, not I am. Yeah. Yeah, and you know what, Amber Jane, and we can talk about this individually. For you specifically, I know we're going to talk later today, but there may not be and I think with most things, there's not necessarily a one-size-fits-all answer for everybody. So in your response, what would it be about the I'm experiencing it that would make you say that you're not fully feeling it? I think that for me, and like I said, this might be different for you, and that's really important to understand. And for anybody that's listening, you know, a lot of this is conversation. So what works for one person isn't necessarily going to work for somebody else, and you've got to figure out your own way, but you've got to figure it out by experiencing it. So a lot of us are trying to discern before we actually try something that something's going to work or that it's not going to work. And so my invitation is give yourself the chance to prove me wrong, prove this wrong. The disassociation helps because you're not identifying with it. That's where that helps, because it's not who you are, it's just something that you are experiencing. So that enables you to feel it and experience it, but not take ownership of it and make it who you are. Because inside of that, then we also have the potential to judge the process, right? To judge what it is that we are experiencing, and that judgment doesn't help at all. Yeah. And feel free, like if that didn't answer your question, you can keep asking me. I just want to make sure that anybody understands it's so important inside of all of this not to look for like the right way, the one size fits all approach that's going to work 100% for every single person. There isn't a right answer. Like there's no absolute all the time, this is definitely the way, the thing that's going to work for everybody. You got to try it, and you got to actually try it and embody it, not just sort of think about it and pre-decide, okay, that's not going to work for me, or I've done that in the past and it didn't work for me. Give yourself the experience of trying it, and then from there, this goes back to what we were talking about a few moments ago, then you have feedback, and from the place of having feedback, now you can actually make a new choice based on the information that you get. Yeah. The judgment of the process. I forget who said this. I don't know who to give credit to, but I heard at one point in time the thing that screws us up most is the picture in our head of how we think it is supposed to be. Yeah. It's powerful stuff. Powerful stuff. Does anyone else have any other questions? I want to scroll through these comments and make sure I didn't miss anything. If I missed something that you said, please type it in again. Have I ever heard of the quicksand effect? Not specifically. What I would think it would mean in this moment would be that speaking to the importance of surrender and that the harder you fight against what is, then the more you get stuck. But please tell me please tell me what it is. Erin, I love you, period. So I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but I do want to tell you guys, I don't have all the details, to be honest with you, because that's not what I'm about right now. But coming in April, I think probably the week of the 9th, but that's not 100% set yet, I'm going to be starting an online program. It's probably going to be 8 weeks, and I'm going to take you through the 7 pillars of a true transformation. And I want to talk about how to really shift your life from being in a place of being stuck so that you can get into that place of freedom and pride and celebration and joy. And it is possible. And so many of us are spending so much of our time fighting, and we're terrified of surrender, and we're terrified of what that word actually means. And I'm going to teach you what I did. I'm going to teach you what I did in my own personal life, and I'm actually going to teach you a lot of what I teach my clients in terms of the steps that are really necessary to shift you from being in that place of being, whether you're struggling with perfectionism or procrastination, whether you have a fear of success or putting yourself out there, whether you feel like you've been working super hard and nothing has been working for you, whether you're just dissatisfied in general and not where it is that you want to be, and you want to get into a place of being self-approved and really happy, let me know in the comments and I'll follow up with you individually. I'm really excited about this. This is something that I'm super, super passionate about. And I want more people to actually be empowered to feel these feelings and be in control of the only thing that we do have control over, which is our own life. Oh, awesome. Yeah, Oxford, please email it to me. I would love that. Yeah, freedom and joy. I gotta tell you, it's everything. And it's something, I'm still kind of messed up a little bit about the word, right? Like, what's the word that Sean asked me earlier? What's the word that you would use to describe your transformation? And it's been messy. I don't think there's one word, it's been messy. It's been exquisite. It's been hard. At times it's been fun. It's been so fun. It's been intense. It's been like a coming home. Yeah, it's been like a coming home. It's been a reuniting of myself with myself. It's been a willingness to go into the burning building and fight the flames and feel the intensity and feel the heat to save myself. Something that I say a lot is, you're the one you're waiting for. Right? It's you. And you got to participate in your own rescue. And what I want to do, what I try to do as a coach, what I'm committed to doing inside of this program and on this planet, is advocating for you to go in that building instead of standing on the outside and watching it burn. I think so many of us, you tell me if I'm right, if you're a parent, a lot of my parent friends tell me that sometimes their kids will just, so I don't have children, and a lot of times I'll be around kids and I'm like, how does the mom actually not hear the screaming of the kid? Lou is a perfect example of this. I'll be on the phone with her doing coaching, and her beautiful son will just be being a little boy. And she just, it's almost like sometimes she doesn't even hear it. And I'm so impressed with, because I'll stop and I'm like, oh, you got to handle him. And it's almost almost like she doesn't even Like she doesn't even hear it, which I think in a lot of ways is actually really good. But I think so many of us we're standing on the outside of the building, and our inner child, our soul is screaming like, rescue me, like come get me out of here. And we're just on the outside pretending that we don't hear it. And I think if we've been ignoring it for so long, we actually stop hearing it. And my passion, my commitment is to turn up the volume, because I need you to hear the screams, because I want you to get in that fight. And if you are somebody that is more committed to standing outside and not going inside, it's all good. I was that way for a long time. I want you to be okay with and own that choice. But if you are in a place where you are wanting to get to that happiness and that joy and that self-approval and that freedom and pride, then you got to go in. And I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you that you can just leap from the ground to the top of the building. The only way is you got to go in and go up. And then you want to have a team of people, and you want to have an advocate that's on the outside that's saying, yes, keep going. I know it's hot, but keep going. You've got this. Keep going. We're always going to do better when we have that support, which is why I don't think any of us should try to go through this alone. But that's the way. That's the way, is to feel the feelings, to feel the heat, to go in. And instead of trying to figure out, how do we contain this fire, right? How do I make this fire not spread, right? We got to go in and actually deal with the ignition point where this was started. And that's what I'm committed to doing. That's what, whether it's showing up on these lives, whether it's through one-on-one individual personalized attention, which is always going to get you the biggest, best results the fastest, and then through this group program, that's what I'm excited about doing. So I hope that answers your questions. How do I stop enabling people in my life? Woo, that's big. Oh, Julia, thank you. That's funny. It feels light and liberating. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. Kelly, are you serving to receive? If you're still here, let me know. Because if you're giving with your hand out, the love and the service isn't pure. And this goes back to the call that we did last week around boundaries, right? And setting that up for your own self. The answer is, in my opinion, be okay with their 30%. What if their 30% is their max capacity? And a lot of this, like I was telling Amber Jane earlier, might be best handled in an individual conversation, which I'm down for. You know, send me a message if that's something that would serve you. If my 100% is 100%, right? Because my container is, say it's a gallon, and your container is only a cup. Even if you give to me a cup, I can say you're still not giving me enough, but you're giving me all that you can. So if I'm going to sit on the other side and judge that your cup isn't a gallon and be mad at you for not giving me what you're not capable of giving, there's no hope for happiness inside of that recipe. Right? If we want to be happy, we got to let people be who they are. And if you don't like how you feel around them, then you can make choices to separate yourself from them. You can make choices to not engage in relationship with them. I would encourage you to do the work to heal your relationship with their 30%. And in terms of stop enabling them, stop it. Like if there is a behavior that is that you don't want to have continue, then where is your responsibility in this? Where are you not creating and honoring boundaries around this, your own self? This is an area for you to take some of your power back. So I have a client call in 13 minutes, but I want to make sure that if there's anything that you feel incomplete on or you want to ask me about, that I get this answered. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the engagement. I appreciate the shade that was thrown at me. Martinet, if you're still here, you specifically, thank you for listening. I really appreciate all of you showing up. I say this every week, but I think it's such an important platform to come together and to know that we are not alone and that there is an opportunity to gather and have community where we can just be real and we can share what's up and we can ask questions and we can glean from each other's experiences. And even if inside of that, it's just to know, oh my gosh, he or she is human just like me. I think that's so powerful. And I will be back here. I'm going to do this on Wednesday, March 13th. Just middle of next week at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will post about it. But I'm committed to staying in this conversation. I'm committed to continuing to show up because I think that this is the stuff that's necessary. I think these are the conversations, number one, that I just want to have. These are the conversations that I'm interested in being a part of, that I'm interested in facilitating. It's why I listen when my friends do Facebook Lives, when my friends do webinars. It's why I'm interested in dialing in and plugging into these types of conversations, because this is the real stuff. And this type of stuff is a lot of what people don't want to deal with because it's easier. And most of us would take the get rich, be skinny, I don't have to do anything pill if somebody made it. I mean, let's just be real, right? Like if somebody were to give that to you and you would be tall and skinny and rich tomorrow, you'd probably take it. But the problem is it doesn't exist. So instead of pretending that we're waiting for that or actually waiting for that, let's actually talk about what's necessary to do the work to heal the real thing that's going on so that we can go off and make whatever our dreams are come true, whether it is be skinny or taller or rich, or for me, it's heal this planet. And it's starting by one person at a time, helping you heal your own individual relationship with your reflection. Because I promise you, so many of us are trying to go all the way out and this big connection and this big life transformation. And I think that's all amazing. And it starts with self. And if you are out of integrity, out of love, out of alignment with your own self, there is no way that you are going to be able to facilitate that in anybody else. There's just not. Right? There is no way. So I want to increase your capacity so that you can do the things that you want to do. We're only in charge of our actions and reactions. Amen. Yeah, that's it. That's all we have any control over. We don't control anyone else. I know we like to think we do, but we do not at all. Like there is zero power in anything else other than ourselves. And the more unstable we feel internally, the more we are going to try and control externally. Because most of us don't want to do that. Most of us don't want, like, look, the answer is so simple, you guys. Go in the building. Go in the building, feel the flames. It sounds simple, and almost everybody is like, no, not going to do it. It's too hot. I don't like it out there. But we all, and I was talking about this with my coach and our team just a couple of days ago, we all have something. We all have something that is powerful enough that we would go, Jennifer, that's an alarm for you. We all have something that we would go in that building for. Like we all have something that would cause us to say, screw it, I'm in, I'm running. Let's do this. And the hardest thing for me personally is to is to make you see it's worth it. And even if you got burned, it's worth it. Because what is on the other side? The peace and the truth and the love of who you are, your authentic power, your divinity, your absolutely pure divine masculine, your divine feminine, your authentic truth and power is it's exquisite and it's worth it. And I would rather you do the work to build the body to go through those flames than spend any amount of time trying to build a better suit to stand on the outside of the building and not feel the heat. So I love you. Thank you, Lou. It's okay. No worries, Kelly. Respond, check it out, and then get back to me and let me know. You can send me a message. Thank you, Lou. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Erin. Hi, Eleanor, if you're here. Thank you, Amber Jane, Jess, and Sheila, if you're still here. Hello, sister. I'm excited to watch your powerful webinar. I learned so much from you. Thank you, Julia. And Oxford, thank you. Thank you so, so much. Tyler, if you're here, I pray that you're well. Hello, Candace, Sarah, and Jeremy, Taylor, Shauna, thank you. Thank you so much. Loretta, I really appreciate everyone being here. I hope I'm not missing anyone. Faye, Sean, I really appreciate you and what you've done in terms of showing me what was possible and then not rescuing me and making it so I had to do that myself. It's one of the best gifts that I ever got from you. Hello, Matthew. I love you all. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. You can DM me if you have my cell. Please text me. You can email me. And I'll be back here on Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want more information about the program, you want to talk, I'm having individual conversations. There's no sales page or anything like that. I'm just talking to people. Send me a message or comment in this video and I will respond. Be well. Take care. Thank you so much. Bye.